You already know exactly what to do with your money. Spend less than you earn, kill the high-interest debt, invest early, automate it, and yet here you are, another month gone, having done none of it. That space between knowing and doing has a name, and it is quietly costing you more than any bad investment ever could. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the real reason your brain refuses to act on what it already knows, including the one mental trick that closes the gap in about 60 seconds. And the reason your brain literally rewards you for not acting on a single thing you learned today. That last one will sting, because you're doing it right now. Stick around, because the fix isn't more information. It's something almost nobody talks about. Let's kill the biggest myth first. You don't have a knowledge problem. You could pass a test on personal finance right now. The problem is that knowing lives in one part of your brain and doing lives in another. And the doing part is wired to care far more about today than about tomorrow. Economists call it present bias or hyperbolic discounting. And it's brutally simple. A reward you can feel right now feels enormous, and the exact same reward 10 years from now feels almost invisible. So $100 spent tonight feels real and warm. The same $100 growing into $700 by retirement feels like a rumor about a stranger. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing precisely what it evolved to do. Grab the sure thing now, which is exactly why willpower fails you. And the next force is even quieter, because it doesn't attack your wallet. It attacks who you think you are. Here's something that will reframe everything. You do not act on what you know. You act on who you believe you are. If somewhere underneath it all you believe I'm just bad with money, then every smart thing you learn gets quietly rejected, because acting on it would contradict your own story about yourself. It feels safer to stay the person you've always been than to become a stranger who suddenly invests and budgets and says no. So, you read the book, you nod, you agree, and then you do nothing because doing it would mean becoming someone you don't yet believe you are. The knowledge bounced off your identity. And until that identity shifts, no amount of advice gets through. But there's a specific trap that keeps that identity frozen in place, and it's hiding inside one tiny, innocent-sounding word. The word is when. I'll start investing when I earn more. I'll budget when things calm down. I'll get serious when the new year starts, when the raise comes, when the debt's gone. When feels responsible, it sounds like a plan. But when is just permission to not start today, dressed up as wisdom. And here's the cruel part. The conditions you're waiting for almost never arrive cleanly. There is no calm month coming to rescue you. The person who starts with imperfect conditions today beats the person waiting for perfect conditions forever. Every single time. Every year you wait isn't a neutral pause. It's a year of compounding you can never buy back. Waiting 5 years to start can leave you with tens of thousands of dollars less for doing absolutely nothing. So when isn't caution? When is the most expensive word in your financial life? But even people who refuse to say when still freeze. And the reason why is almost embarrassingly human. You only get so many good decisions a day. Willpower isn't a personality trait. It's a battery, and it drains. By the time you've handled work, messages, traffic, dinner, and 100 tiny choices, the part of your brain that says no, let's be disciplined, is running on empty. That's decision fatigue. And it's why your worst money choices happen at night. Tired, on the couch, phone in hand. Not because you're weak, but because the disciplined part of you already clocked out hours ago. This is why just try harder is terrible advice. You can't out-willpower a dead battery. The people who actually do the smart things didn't find more willpower. They found a way to need less of it. Remember that, because it's the seed of the fix, and it leads straight into the strangest force of all. The one that feels like progress, but is actually the trap. Underneath almost every money decision you keep avoiding, there's an emotion you don't want to feel. Opening the banking app might mean facing shame. Building a budget might mean admitting how bad it's gotten. Checking the debt might mean feeling stupid for letting it grow. So your brain does something clever and quietly destructive. It protects you from the feeling by stopping you from the action. Avoiding the task feels like relief, and relief feels like a reward. You're not lazy. You're flinching from a feeling, and the money decision just happens to be standing next to it. This is why the fix is never purely financial. You can't budget your way out of a feeling you refuse to look at. And now we arrive at the big one, the force doing the most damage. The reason you can watch 100 videos like this and still not move. Here is the one that's going to sting, so brace yourself. Watching this video feels like progress. Reading the book felt like progress. Saving that article, following that finance creator, learning the new term, all of it lights up your brain like you actually did something. But you didn't. You consumed advice, and consuming advice feels almost identical to taking action without any of the risk, effort, or discomfort of actually doing it. So your brain gets the reward of being productive about money, while your bank account never moves an inch. This is the trap. Learning becomes a sophisticated way to procrastinate. It's the most comfortable place to hide because it looks exactly like growth. Your brain literally rewards you for not acting. It pays you in the feeling of progress, so you never have to face the discomfort of the real thing. The more you learn without doing, the more stuck you become, because every video buys you the feeling of moving while you stand perfectly still. Which is why the next part matters more than everything before it, because it's where the watching finally turns into doing. So here's the trick that closes the gap in about 60 seconds, and it has nothing to do with learning more. Stop trying to do the smart thing. Start doing the smallest possible version of it right now while the motivation is still warm. Don't start investing. Open the app and move $10. Don't make a budget. Write down one number, today's balance. Don't tackle the debt. Pay $5 extra this minute. The goal isn't the amount. The goal is to become a person who acts, even tiny, while you're still thinking about it. Because action, not information, is what rewrites your identity. Every micro-action whispers to your brain, I'm someone who does this now. That's how knowing finally becomes doing. Not with a giant leap, but with a move so small your tired, scared, present-biased brain can't talk you out of it. 60 seconds. One tiny move before you finish this video. And once you've made one tiny move, lock it in so you never have to decide again. Remember, decision fatigue. The win isn't more willpower, it's needing less of it. Automate the transfer so the smart choice happens whether you feel like it or not. Make the good decision once on a strong day and let the system carry it on every weekday after. The people who look disciplined aren't grinding through willpower every morning. They removed the decision entirely. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. So build a system so simple your worst, most tired, most avoidant self can't break it. That's not laziness. That's the whole secret. So let's be honest about what just happened. You learned nothing new today. You already knew most of this. What you got instead was the real reason you weren't acting. Present bias. A frozen identity. The word when. A dead willpower battery, a feeling you were avoiding, and the comfortable lie that consuming advice is the same as doing the work. The gap was never information, it was emotion and identity. And one missing tiny first step. So take it now. 60 seconds. One micro move before this feeling fades. Because it will. Comment the one tiny action you're taking in the next 60 seconds. Saying it out loud is how it becomes real. And next, we go even deeper into the silent money habits running in the background of your life that you don't even know you have. The ones quietly deciding your future while you're not looking. Subscribe to the Money Mind and start thinking like the rich brain.